Another Monday here at the Tivoli Tap House. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Celeste Zubia, and we don't have Juan today, but what better way than to have Sarena Espinoza replace him today. Sarena, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, good. So tell me, who are we going to have on the show today?
Well, first off, we have men's basketball head coach Michael Bahl as they opened up their season this past weekend in Texas. Then we'll have women's head soccer coach Tracy Chao as she finished up her first season here at MSU Denver. And last but not least, women's soccer senior Elise Boisnard as she finished up her career as a Roadrunner.
Awesome. It's going to be such a good show. But before we get to head coach Michael Bahl first, let's get you guys caught up on everything that happened this past weekend in Roadrunner sports. The men's team kicked off their 2017-2018 season on the road in Texas. They first dropped an 89-78 decision against the host School of Tarleton State in-game on Friday. The Roadrunners battled tough with Angelo State the next night but fell 90-82 to the Rams. Cameron Williams led MSU Denver with 24 points on 7 of 15 shooting while also adding 5 assists. The Red and Blue will continue their road trip next weekend to try and earn that first win on the season.
And now for some women's basketball, and the Roadrunner had 4 players in the double-digit figures, but it was the host school of Texas A&M Commerce that secured the win against senior forward Georgia Ordard, led the Roadrunners in scoring with 19 points while pulling down 8 rebounds. MSU Denver fell the following night by a final of 71-53 to Lubbock Christian.
For the second time in 5 days, the volleyball team took on Colorado Mesa, and for the second time in 5 days, it was the Roadrunners who came away with the 3-1 victory. It was the double-double from junior Santasia Sturgis who carried MSU Denver to the win and a final of 16-2 record in the RMAC. So it's time for playoffs, and their first round opponent will be no one other than Colorado Mesa. Go figure. So now, guys, we welcome in head coach Michael Bahl from our men's basketball team. How are you doing today, Coach?
Doing good. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, of course. I see you brought some special guests. I thought you were going to bring them on with you.
Yeah, the mom's at basketball practice.
Oh,
right
okay.
Now, so
Okay.
I have the morning practice. She has afternoon, so I got daddy time right now.
Oh, okay. So we'll get started. So you started up your season this past weekend in Texas and took on Tarleton State. One of the things that stood out to us was your incredible three-point shooting. Guys shot 45% from the long range. So was that part of the plan, or did you guys just get it and run with it?
It's sort of a transformation. We do have 9 new guys, but we're running a brand new system, both offensively and defensively, that no one's done before. So we're really training 16 guys on how to do it. And one of the things we try to preach is, when you're open, your feet are set. Those are the shots we want to take. I thought we did a pretty good job of taking the right shots, and we obviously shot the ball really, really well this past weekend.
That's awesome. Well, your team went on a 14-0 run, grabbed a double-digit early lead in the second half, but then the Texas came rolling in with a 20-2 run. Seems like the combination of turnovers and their number 0 Ramsey was a huge part of that.
Yeah, I mean, give Tarleton State credit. I mean, they've been really, really good in this region for a long time. And they came out, and it's at their place, and it's a really tough environment for our guys to go into, especially with a new system and new everything. But for the most part, I thought our guys competed, and that's the one thing we talked about the most part is we competed.
Definitely.
We don't get so locked in on wins and losses, because if you do that, you're just going to drive yourself nuts.
Yeah.
It's more about the process in terms of, are we getting better? Did we learn from the tape? Are we improving each and every time? And to see if we can't just get better day in and day out.
Yeah, definitely. Well said.
So in his first game as a Roadrunner, Jaron Taylor had 15 points and grabbed 8 rebounds. So kind of talk about his performance and where you see him this upcoming season.
Sure. No, Jaron, I mean, his performance was not something I haven't seen before. He did it in junior college, and he's also been doing it in practice day in and day out. We're really high on Jaron. He's a big body a player for us, and that's one of the things that I think people will notice is that we are a lot bigger. And he definitely, serves a purpose for us, and he's a good player. He's a nice kid and a good player, and we're just so lucky to have him be a part of the Roadrunner family.
Nice. So your team took on Angelo State the following day. It was a close game with about 3 minutes to go. It was a great opportunity to see your team battle in a tight contest very late in the game. So give us your thoughts on those final minutes. And one thing that stood out to us was that Angelo went 10 for 10 from the free-throw line in crunch time.
Yeah, Angelo State's another really good team. Coach Boone does a really nice job down there. And I thought our guys, again, competed, but it's a different level. You know, we're still fighting through the process of trusting what we do and believing in what we do, and we have ups and downs. But I think for the most part, what I liked is we finished the game better than we did on Friday night.
That's good.
You know, on Friday night we really dropped the ball, in my opinion, and sort of let one go through our fingers. And I thought on Saturday we stayed the course in terms of our offense, and unfortunately we just couldn't get the stops we needed to at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Father duties comes first. So, Coach, looks like Angelo was kind of able to beat the press a little bit early on in the game. So, I know it's still early on in the season, but is that something that you guys are still working on perfecting as the season goes on?
Yeah, I mean, it's give credit to Angelo. They definitely attacked us. But one thing with if you want to be a pressing team, you're going to have to be able to give up some shots like that. And we've only had 18 practices.
Yeah.
You know, we're not a finished product by any means. And again, it's a brand new system for what we've done in the past. Yes, we've pressed in the past, but the concepts are a little bit different. So it's just a work in progress. You know, I think our ceiling's a really high ceiling. Where some of the teams I think we're playing, they can always get better, but I think our ceiling's a little bit higher. You know, so I mean, we are just, you know, sort of laying in the weeds right now and just fine-tuning our stuff. But I think you're going to see a pretty polished team out on the floor here, you know, towards December and January when it really matters the most.
Awesome. Yeah, so your first weekend's in the books. The first weekend nerves are out of here. You know, so you said it before, this game is far beyond the wins and the losses. Give us some things you liked about this past weekend and some things you want to work on going into next weekend.
You know, I think we definitely need to clean up our defense. You know, teams are shooting too high a field goal percentage against us, and that's just our mistakes. You know, against Angelo State, the thing that really hurt us the most was our turnovers. We had 20 turnovers, which led to 17 of their points. You cut that in half, it's a different game. Definitely. So a lot of the things that happened this weekend were self-inflicted, which is the good news. You know, which is we're good enough to compete with some of the best teams in the region right now on this day. And we just have to get back to work. And I know this is coach talk, and I hear it on all the time, but it really is. We need more practice time. We need more time with our guys in the gym. We need more time perfecting what we're trying to do. And I think as we do that, we're only going to get better.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Coach. And speaking of next weekend, what do you guys have? What's the schedule looking like for this upcoming weekend?
You know, it doesn't get easier. You know, that's the one thing. We didn't really do ourselves any favors by the schedule we have, but we want the challenge. I mean, we can go out and play, you know, teams that we can beat up on, but I don't think we're going to get better that way.
Exactly.
You know, so we actually head out to Kansas City on Thursday, and we play the defending national champions, Northwest Missouri, at their place, and they return. I mean, they return basically their whole team off a national title run. You know, we took. It was a close game at our place last year. We ended up losing by 2 points. So we're looking forward to that opportunity on Friday night, and then we bounce back pretty quick. We play again at 1 o'clock on Saturday versus Upper Iowa, who is another NCAA tournament team the following year. So we definitely didn't do ourselves any favors, but that's how we want it. I mean, our guys know that we want to be the best. In order to be the best, you got to play the best. So we're looking forward to the opportunity, and hopefully, you know, we get a couple wins this weekend.
Awesome. Well, we wish you the best of luck this weekend.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, and thanks for coming on the show. All right, guys, so we're going to take a break, but before we do that, let's get you guys the tweet of the week. It comes from women's soccer forward Bree Sanchez, whose 2017 season ended early after suffering a major leg injury. She says, quote, "When I return, I will be better, faster, stronger, and more focused than before," unquote. You got to love the positivity from Sanchez, and we wish her the best in her recovery. Time for a break, but we're coming right back with women's soccer head coach Tracy Chao, and you do not want to miss that.
The Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference is committed to sportsmanship.
We take pride in the conduct of our student athletes and coaches.
And ask that everyone, coaches, athletes, and spectators, treat opponents and officials with respect.
We encourage you to cheer for your favorite team.
Unruly, threatening, or obscene behavior will not be condoned.
Thank you for your cooperation and support.
Everything's gonna be just fine. Little darling, you keep on walking, 'cause I ain't never gonna leave your side.
As kids fall in love with sports, our universities are working every day to keep college sports safe, so you can watch them play with a little less worry and a little more joy.
I'm Emily Romer, junior defender for the women's soccer team.
Find Alexi Marr, the tallest player on the pitch, and it's going to be a goal. Emily Romer with that header.
And you're watching Coach's Corner. Get rowdy.
I'm Cassie Fisher, senior defender for Metro State Women's Soccer Team.
And coming in, nice job there by Fisher.
You're watching Coach's Corner. Get rowdy.
Welcome back, guys. And before we get to our head coach of the women's soccer team, Tracy Chao, we just want to give a huge shout out to the Tivoli Brewers, who took home some hardware from their Colorado Beer Festival. Tivoli's own Hellas took gold, while Siege's Wild Horse Box Style Ale took bronze. See, we weren't lying when we told you the beers here are awesome. So, and big congrats to our Tivoli Brewers. And now we say hello to head coach Tracy Chao. How are you doing today, Coach?
Good. How are you doing?
Good, good. So our first question comes from Tweet of the Week, where Bree Sanchez says she's motivated to come back for next year. So, did you see that tweet? And what does that kind of say about Bree Sanchez and who she is as a player?
Yeah, Tweet of the Week, is this new?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. First Tweet of the Week. No, it's awesome, and I think it's encouraging. We had individual meetings all last week, and so I got a chance to sit down with each player, and Bree in particular obviously is a little bit different when you have a player that's coming off injury, and to see that and to know how mentally committed she is to her recovery is huge. So she's been doing fantastic, as a lot of the other players that are coming back as well. So, yeah, it's exciting to see, and it's good when they put it out there, because it means, I think, a little bit more when it's out there, and it holds you accountable when you put it out there, too.
Yeah, definitely. Well, this is our first time talking with you since the playoff game against CSU Pueblo. So we'll just get your thoughts really quick about that 1-0 decision against that squad.
It was a tough game, and going on the road is never easy. And we knew Pueblo going in, obviously hadn't played them earlier in the season, and had a good idea of what we were going to face. Mackenzie Bean, who was the player of the year in the conference, we knew she was going to be tough. So we had a game plan, and to be honest, we didn't come out great in the first 45 minutes. We were a little slow to start, and give it to them. They capitalized on their opportunity off a corner kick, and in 2 games and playing them, they scored off a PK and a corner kick, and it's unfortunate, but that just means that every single moment matters. In the second 45 minutes, we played really well. We came out with a lot of energy, and we pressed, and we had chances, 9 shots on goal, and we just couldn't find a way to break them down. So it was unfortunate. It's obviously disappointing, because it means that the season comes to an end. But I guess coming off of that last 45 minutes is positive, and things to look forward to for sure.
So I know with a game like that, it's always hard, to kind of have that last team huddle, and that kind of environment. But kind of tell us, what are some words you told your team after that game?
Definitely talked a lot about the seniors and their impact throughout the season. They were huge parts of the program and have been for a long time, and I was really fortunate to have them for at least a season, but wanted to thank them, obviously, for their time with us. That's a big part of, the post-game comments. And I said we can analyze the game, but ultimately 2018 starts now. So preparation is happening right now for us to move forward and taking care of business. So it's the things now that start to put in place for next season and for the returning players, and what we have to do to get us to where we want to be. And so it's easy to take your foot off the pedal and say, okay, we're done. But really it's, okay, preparation starts now. We didn't get to where we wanted to get to, so it's now being more focused toward next season.
Yeah, it never stops.
Never stops. Never stops.
So, Coach, how excited are you for your friend over at UC Colorado Springs? They're going to, I think, the 3rd round of the NCAA tournament? That's awesome.
Yeah, well, it's a huge opportunity for both Mines and UCCS to have made it through the first couple of games. Mines obviously had to make 2. So, I was texting with Sean the other day and congratulated her today. And it's awesome for her. She's done a fantastic job, and to represent the conference. I texted Kevin Fickus at Mines as well and said congrats and way to represent. So for us right now, it's about representing the conference and continuing to move forward, and it says a lot. So it says a lot about what Sean's done, and I told her, I said, I'm looking forward to many years against you on the sideline, and hopefully the roles will switch then. But no, super pumped for her.
Yeah, awesome.
That's great. Well, so let's reflect on the season. Now that you've had some time to look back on it, something you told us way back in the beginning is that you wanted to continue the great tradition of MSU Denver soccer. So to build on character, just how do you think that first season went in regards to that?
It was a learning year, for sure. It was a lot. I learned a lot, and I think that that's natural for any coach. For me, it's I want to continue to be a better coach, a better mentor, and somebody that the program can continue to lean on and see growth in. And that means on the field and off the field too. So a lot of that is building a culture and character and having great people and great players around you. So recruiting is a big part of that. I think this year's been, it was good. Again, I walked into an environment where the seniors did a fantastic job of being great representatives of the program, great people, great leaders on and off the field, academically, athletically, just really being good citizens. And that's that's the biggest priority, first and foremost, is being great people. And they set that standard, and we're just continuing to build on what has been here and continue to add that and hold them to a standard that they can continue to meet and say, okay, we're doing things right on and off the field, and establishing that sort of rhythm and tradition and keep going from there.
So Coach, you lose 4 players for this upcoming season. Kind of talk to us about how many players you're looking to add and how they're going to help shape your second-year team.
Yeah, next year's going to be, we've got to replace 5 obviously seniors, but then we just lacked a little bit of depth this season. So adding a lot more players into our depth and competition. I want us to be able to compete in every aspect of position of the field, and that's a huge part of it. So from goalkeepers all the way to front runners, we need a little bit more depth. And so it's adding new players is part of it. Recruiting, hitting the recruiting trail really hard right now. Dave, my assistant, is in Florida and recruiting, and I'll be off to California and Carolina soon. So it's a big part of it, and so continuing that and getting more depth and getting great people and players.
So does that mean I'm getting a souvenir from California? And
what do you want?
Yeah.
What do you want?
I'll take a keychain. You can never go wrong with
a keychain or a magnet.
In-N-Out burger.
An In-N-Out burger.
Yeah, just ship it to us.
Yeah, that's right.
So, I mean, we just touched on it, but talk about the recruiting, not recruiting for you specifically, but just recruiting in general. And so, what are some things that come with a successful recruiting class, in your opinion?
It's easy to identify great players. Evaluating a soccer player is our easy part. It's getting to know them and what they really want. Ultimately, it's their process. So it's about taking our time and going through the whole process with them. I want them to get them to know every aspect of who I am and what my expectations and standards are with the program, but also as much time as they spend with me, they're going to spend way more time with the team. So I want them to also feel comfortable with the group of people and the players that they're going to be playing with. So the recruiting process is, for me, it's taking my time and finding the right players and the right people and making sure that it's the right fit. There's no perfect place for anybody, but the best fit. And I think we're doing things in a good way. And honestly, I keep telling players it's going to be a great time to be a part of the program. I'm excited for this future. I'm excited to continue developing it. So I always say it's a great time to get in it, and we've got a lot to look forward to.
That's awesome.
So your first season as a head coach is now in the books. What are some things that you're going to take with you for next season? Some things that you want to do better or just switch up a little bit?
Yeah, it's always going to be new, where you obviously graduate players and bring in new players. So the fun part is figuring out how we're compatible, what we're going to look like with the new players, and what that looks like. It always changes when you bring in a new group of players. So that's always going to be the fun part, is figuring out, okay, what are we going to look best in terms of on the fields, and in terms of everything else, you just learn a lot about the game. You learn a lot more about the RMAC. I've have a year of understanding what the RMAC looks like, and Division II soccer across the nation. We've played some of the best teams in the country, so that's fun and exciting to be prepared for and say, okay, this is what to expect to a degree, and move from there. So yeah, it's a lot to learn and keep learning, and excited for the new batch of players.
Awesome. Well, Coach, it was a pleasure covering you and your team this season. I told you I was not like a soccer person, but once it was on the schedule, I was like, yeah, you guys did.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, and we're excited for next season.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. All right, guys, so don't go anywhere, because next we have one of Tracy Chao's player, Elise Boisnard.
Since 1909, the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference has been a leader in collegiate athletics, with campuses in some of the most scenic areas in the United States. And now in Salt Lake City, Utah, and Rapid City, South Dakota, the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, competition elevated.
It's not about where you were born. It's not about your gender or the color of your skin, or whether you're rich, poor, or in the middle. No matter what you play, if you have the skill and drive to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
I'm Kaylee Burrell, senior midfielder for the women's soccer team.
And here comes Burrell, and she's going to get this ball before it heads the out of bounds, crosses it in.
And you're watching the Coach's Corner. Get rowdy.
I'm Elise Boisnard, senior forward from the women's soccer team.
Cross comes in here. Mar with a low shot, and Boisnard puts it in the net. Boisnard all alone right in front of the net.
And you're watching Coach's Corner. Get rowdy.
So glad you're back with us for our last segment of the show. And before we get to the wonderful Elise Boisnard, I just want to remind you guys to shop MSUdenver.com. And right now, if you guys order like anything, sweats, t-shirts, phone cases, whatever it may be, and if your purchase is $35 or more, you get free shipping. So definitely take advantage of that. And now we say hello to Elise Boisnard, the senior midfielder for MSU Denver women's soccer team. Thanks for being here today.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So we saw a tweet from your teammate, Bree Sanchez, who, you know, she's determined, ready to get back for next season. So kind of just talk about how difficult it was for you guys to be without her this season.
I mean, she definitely made an impact on our team. She had a lot of fire coming in this season, so having her have that injury at the beginning was really tough on us. We definitely needed a lot of help up top. But she has a lot of drive, and I'm excited for her to come back. I mean, I see her working hard. She was always in the training room, so you're just kind of inspired when someone's really dedicated to get back out there. I mean, I was injured frequently as well, so kind of putting in the time and all the extra work really pays off, and I think it will for her as well.
Yeah, so we know it's been a few weeks since the playoff game versus CSU Pueblo, but tell us what the difference was in that 1-0 game. Your team started to get some scoring chances in the second half.
First half, it was just kind of like a struggle. We couldn't really find the momentum that we needed. This season we struggled with energy and being consistent. So this last game, we just, we had a lot of pressure on us, and I think that kind of made us a little scared. And then second half, we're like, okay, that's behind us. Let's try and change our game plan. And we just had more fire, but we just couldn't make anything happen. It was definitely sad, but I think we put a lot of heart into it. So it didn't really end on a bad note. I was really happy with how hard we tried.
So once that horn blew, to end your final season here at MSU Denver, in that moment, did everything kind of just hit you like everything, all the hard work you put in, like all the memories you made, or did it just take a couple days for to sink in?
I mean, I was looking at the at the clock for the last probably minute, and you just kind of feel like a little bit of panic. And I was on the field just, what can I do, and nothing worked. And when it went off, it was just really sudden. I guess that's the best word for it. There was nothing really to prepare. I knew it was going to end at some point, but when it happened, and I was just like, oh man. So I definitely broke down a little bit, but I mean, the season was worth it. It was such a good time, and I couldn't ask for better teammates or a better experience. It was awesome.
Nice. So back to the game, do you remember what Coach Tracy told you in the squad in that final huddle of the 17 season?
At the very end? Yeah. I mean, it was just thanking everyone. This was a really good season. I was so happy with the coaching staff. I had so much fun. I mean, just Dave and Craig and Tracy, it was an awesome blend, and they were great coaches. We had so much fun. I don't know if you saw the pictures in the end when they dressed up as socks. They had the superheroes. It was so funny, and it was just a good atmosphere. So at the end, just thanking everyone, and it was disappointing, but we were still a team, and we tried our best.
So you kind of talked about Tracy Chao a little bit. How did she, change or continue the culture of what MSU Denver soccer is for you guys?
I think just high standards in general. She just had so much energy coming and providing what she could really offer the team, and it was inspiring. We were really grateful to have her this season. She was just such a great addition, and I think she's going to take Metro far in the coming years. I'm really excited for the program.
Nice. So you've had a little bit of time to look back and reflect on your career here at MSU Denver. What has this all meant to you, and how much fun was it to play soccer as a Roadrunner?
Playing soccer as a Roadrunner, man, it was just awesome. Everything about it. It was such a shaping experience. I can take this now and bring it with me everywhere. Just great times and memories. The people that I've met, I can just thank them 1,000 times. It was awesome. Let's see. Yeah. yeah, it's kind of sad. It's sad. I mean, just like all the other alumni, I'll definitely wish that I was back out on the field, but happy to return whenever I can.
So are there any moments from your time here at Metro that like stand out to you, whether it be like a goal or like a team bonding moment? Like, is there anything that you'll like specifically remember like from here on out?
Collectively, let's see. We had a great couple games. One of my favorites was playing Western, specifically just because that was the school that I came from. And when we scored and I scored the second one, it was just like, it was a good feeling. It was kind of like a nail in the coffin for me.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit personal, but it felt really great. And yeah, and we worked hard that game. It was so much fun. Those games where everyone's working together at such like a hard work rate and putting in great effort. It was awesome, like well-rounded. It was a good time.
Awesome.
Yeah. So what's next for Elise? When do you graduate and where do you hope to go next?
Well, I graduate this December, so I'll be done December 15th.
Wow,
yeah, it's
that's
coming
up.
Right, yeah. I'm pretty nervous, but I mean, ready to move on. A little bit of job searching, also some time off. Being a student athlete's a lot of work, you know, and yeah, ready for a break. Yeah, just I'll try and save some money. Maybe in the future go to France. I have some family there. Try and do some different experiences. Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. That sounds like so much fun. Well, it was so much fun covering you and your team, you know, these past couple of years, and we wish you the best of luck after graduation.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
So before we say goodbye to Elise, let's show you guys what's ahead in this upcoming weekend for Roadrunner Sports. Our volleyball team starts their postseason run Tuesday night at the Auraria Event Center against Colorado Mesa at 7 p.m. The Metro State Broadcast Network will be there to bring you all the exciting playoff action. If Coach Jenny Glenn's squad advances, they'll move on to the semifinals on Friday, and that site is yet to be determined, so follow the volleyball team on roadrunnersathletics.com.
Now for some basketball, the women's basketball team will be on the short road to Golden for a couple of non-conference games. They'll first take on Sioux Falls on Friday at 3 p.m., then they'll face off against Central Washington University, also at 3 p.m. on Saturday. The men will head to Maryville, Missouri to continue their non-conference season. Northwest Missouri State will be their first opponent on the weekend, battling the Bearcats at 6 p.m. Mountain Time on Friday. Then on Saturday, MSU Denver will go toe-to-toe with Upper Iowa with a tip-off time of noon our time.
All right, guys, and that's going to do it for this week's episode of the Coach's Corner. For head coach Tracy Chao, Elise Boisnard, and Michael Bahl, I'm Celeste, Zubia, and thanks to Sarena for coming out. And before I let you guys go, I just wanted to send a birthday shout out to my niece Tristan. Your first birthday in Italy. It's only been a week since you moved, and I miss you so much. But I hope you had the best day. I love you and miss you so much, and I can't wait to see you.
I pledge.
I pledge. I pledge.
Here at MSU Denver.
To stop sexual harassment.
To identify situations
in which sexual assault may occur.
To never blame the victim.
It's on us.
It's on us.
All of us. To get a friend home safely.
It's on us to be a part of the solution.
And not part of the problem.
Learn more and take the pledge at itsonus.org.